Hello, Aries North Node. Welcome to your 3-month forecast for December, January, and February. So December 2022 to February 2023. I am Samara, your feminist alchemist. And yeah, on this channel. Oh, you know what? I forgot to put out our little sign. One moment. Ta-da! So, as I was saying, I do North Node readings almost exclusively on this channel. So no sun sign, no moon sign, no rising. This is for North Node specific energy. So if you're not sure where your North Node sign is, you can go to my website, where I've linked the page below in the description box to the North Node chart, where you can just look up your date of birth and it will tell you where the North Node was at that time. You could also run your birth chart if you so desire to see a fuller picture. Your North Node sign lays directly opposite of your South Node sign. So if you are in Aries North Node, you are a Libra South Node. Yes, and vice versa. So I'm just going to get right into it. Oh, let me describe what the is. So if this is your first time at my channel, welcome. This takes about an hour, which you probably already saw when you clicked on this video. So for that reason, I timestamp each section. I go through quite a few decks in this reading, and I start with, let's say, the big overarching, we call them universal energies. That's what me and my guides decided to call it. The universal energies, and then we go to 5D, what your 5D self is calling out to you with, what messages your 5D self is sending to you. What is happening in your 3D life will be next, in your physical reality, that are appearing as opportunities for growth. And then we ask the question, how do I bridge the 3D with the 5D? That will be the next round of cards. This month, I am asking the question, what needs to be transformed through the portal of your heart? Because this time, 3-month period, there's a lot of themes around knowing yourself, truly acknowledging acknowledging your truth, acknowledging your emotions as truth or as signs of your soul's truth. And so therefore we're asking what needs to come through the portal of your heart, what needs to be run through the portal of your heart. And that will be 4 cards that I do towards the end. And then lastly, I'll pull a final oracle or 2, depending on how the energy is feeling. I may pull 1, I may pull 2. So that being said, what else can I say? I think I should just start. That's what I'll do. So Aries North Node. So I pull 4 cards for this part. Do you want these 2 that are flipped over? There's a couple that are flipped over in the deck. Yeah, they would like it. So your first card is Take Flight. And then we have Intuition, Gifted, and one more. There we go. Surfacing. So if you're returning to my channel, this is a deck I haven't used before to begin with, but it's the same creator as the deck I usually use. So this one is called Return of spirit. Yes. Okay. With Take Flight, we see a butterfly emerging. So there's energy of great transformation affecting your energy field right now. Your intuition is also being stimulated at the moment. I could just I barely have to go through card by card, but they're really nice cards to look at if you want me to hold them up. But I see one sentence of it's time for you, like for your true authentic self to come to the surface, or the landscape that the universe is creating for you if you allow it to. Well, it's going to create it anyway. It's basically how you react to it, which is why this is such an important topic to focus on, the shadow and the portal of the heart, because these are the things that keep us from allowing the universe to work through us as it is intended to and for our highest good. You're highly gifted at something, naturally gifted at something, and whatever you think of first when I say that is exactly what it is. So even if you are very humble and think that, you didn't go to school for this, or, who are you to be an authority on something, or to say that you're naturally talented at something. The universe is laying out situations where you can see how things naturally come to you. And that doesn't mean that you rest on them and do nothing about them, right? But your intuition will guide you into action. So this is what is coming to the surface. There's definitely a potential for something that was long buried to come back to the surface. Two things: one, to be cleared, and second, to be so one category. They want me to go back on that sentence. One category of what is coming to the surface are things that need to be cleared. The other category of things that are coming to the surface are things that need to be embraced. Yes. And even some of the things that need to be cleared, you need to embrace them before they can be let go. And with that, you will be left with exactly, because if you see here, it's like this surfacing has all different colors, and your gifts is like a certain crown chakra, I'm going to say crown chakra, and some very, very deep inner heart vibration. So in all of this mix of surfacing, your gifts are within what's coming to the surface. And they do want you to know that, yes, you should. Okay, let's just go further. Let's just go further. So this is your 5D self, yourself that already exists and is beckoning to you on how to grow towards, expand towards realization of that. That's interesting. Sorry. Every time I give the description of what the 5D is, it's like I feel like I myself have a better and better understanding of what it is. So thank you, spirit guides and universe. So we have communication, remembrance, I'm going to pull this one because it feels it wants to come out. Alchemy. Oh, so this is 2 decks mixed together. So I just dropped them on the floor here. Ooh. Which way? Yeah, Merkaba, Magick, and one more. Okay, that was easy enough. Transformation. Well, duh. Like transformation, I think, is the first word that came out with the butterfly. Yes. I hope you're not getting the short end of the stick, Aries. I always start with you, which means that you're the sign that I warm up my energy on. So I'll make you a promise that next time I won't do you first. I'll go the opposite way so that you get a chance to have me when I'm fully warm. So let's start with communication, which card number 14, which adds up to 5. So I see there is going to be your higher self is calling for you to communicate your needs, desires, opinions more honestly. I'll read the card. The frequency of communication supports our ability to exchange information in many different forms. It reminds us to run every piece of information, both incoming and outcoming, through our heart, the center of our truth. So see, I told you, portal of the heart is a big theme the next 3 months. To stay in the flow of source and balance exchange. And this coming next to the intuition energies here. I'm feeling that some of you, there's a people-pleasing element that needs to be counteracted, that needs to be just dissolved. And understanding when you say things because you think it's what people want to hear, or you're saying things to fit in. Remembrance, the frequency of remembrance supports our memory of everything that we have gone through as a soul and body, providing us with valuable information and tools to flow gracefully with and in this life. I feel you have a lot of wisdom that comes from past life experiences that you do not embrace because you didn't gain them through the 3D way that people expect knowledge and wisdom to be attained. So there has been a tendency to keep yourself small or to not speak the full, like lending yourself to other people's experiences rather than blazing your own trail and really showing how much you can really lead, or how skilled you naturally already are. Like you have a knack for something. The frequency of alchemy activates our magical ability and remembrance of the magic that we all hold inside. Each one of us has the potential to access the ancient knowledge that allowed the true alchemist to perform the miracles of transmutation. And I'll go straight to Merkaba because it's just necessary. The frequency of Merkaba supports our ability to use our consciousness to traverse into other layers of reality and dimensions. It activates our access to our Akashic inheritance as well, merging the totality of our experiences into our present to serve our highest purpose. So if you came here to this reading to get some, I don't know, very practical physical reality 3D advice, you're probably not gonna get that today. I don't know, because we haven't even gotten to the 3D yet. But in the 5D, you have soul memories, past life experiences that provide you with a lot of wisdom. You may even be astral traveling at night to collect and reignite that wisdom. You also, your 5D higher self, well, your 5D self is not your highest self and not necessarily your only higher self. So let's just get that clear for a moment. But the 5D self, as in the person that you are ascending to as part of this collective ascension process, is in the stage where I'm listening. One sec. You have if you don't have a practice of remembering or journaling your dreams, or at least reflecting on how you feel in the morning after your dreams, because you may not remember everything, but remembering, journaling a sensation is also worthwhile. You need to remember the magic inside. Your higher self is prompting you to remember the magic inside. And it is working with you to remember the magic inside. And this remembrance is what will complete or trigger the completion of the transformation. The transformation is happening regardless. How easily it happens for you, how painlessly it happens for you, is from your ability to accept and communicate and start living that inner truth in your outer world. They keep bringing me back to the photo or a picture of, forging your own path, trail, literally they're showing me a trailblazer. So someone burning a path through a field or a forest. And what you have to awaken in you or to embrace, because it seems that for some of you it's already awake. It's just that you don't know how to live it out in the world just yet. Because your world is not expanded enough to hold that energy, if that makes sense to you. Big fish in a small pond, right? It's time for you. You need a bigger pond. And the bigger pond will appear when you accept and embrace your magic. The frequency of magic supports our intrinsic ability to grow and expand beyond this moment, to move toward possibilities and expressions that are as grand and profound as we can imagine. All that is required is our belief in their manifestation. So that is also, I'm going to lead right into transformation, transforming your thinking. The energy of transformation supports our ability to gracefully flow through times of transition, allowing the old to make room for the new. So, if this time is challenging for you, do remember that you have the ability to see your own situation differently. So there's nothing wrong with grieving the loss of the old, but there's the other side of the grief that is the release, and that makes room for something new. So for example, they're showing me, or it's not really in pictures, but I'll say showing me the end of a relationship, right? When you end a relationship that you've outgrown, of course, there's a part of you that mourns the loss of that relationship. However, releasing that connection to that person allows a new person to come into your life that may be better suited. And sorry, I'm just trying to get the camera on the cards a little bit better. And if you may not even be looking for a new person right away, it is that new person will come eventually, but in the meantime, your life will be filled with a lot more fulfilling things, people, opportunities. So, and that is also necessary, especially if we're in some form of codependence. Okay, let's move on to the 3D, what's going on in your physical reality. That is appearing as opportunities to bridge, or for growth and expansion. Let's call that. Sorry, I'm just going to move this again. Okay. That's what happens when you're the first Aries. I got to move your camera. I got to forget the North Node sign. This whole type of things happen. So, Five of Pentacles in reverse. Oh, what happened there? You want these? Okay. They came out together, so I'll put them together. Which way am I going? I went this way. We're going this way. The Three of Cups in reverse and Judgment in reverse. Knight of Swords in reverse. Am I holding this upside down? I mixed them up so that some are upside down and right side up as well. So we'll see. And then these two. No, okay. The Knight of Cups and the Page of Swords. You got a lot of cards here. Seems to be a lot going on in your 3D reality. So I'm using the Moonchild Tarot for this one because I feel that for a lot of us, what's happening in our 3D world is our shadow calling. The call of the shadow to be integrated, to be acknowledged, and louder more than usual. So let's start here with Five of Pentacles in reverse. So there may have been a loss in the recent past. For some of you, actually, this loss was maybe longer time ago, but it affected you very deeply. And now is a time that you're seeing how your life is it was actually for the better. So that healing process is taking place or will take place in the next 3 months. It may be something that you thought you were already over that really comes up to say, hey, remember that thing? Remember that person? Remember that day that happened? And, you haven't fully processed the emotion of it. So that can be coming up to be dealt with in the next 3 months. And then we have the Three of Cups in reverse and Judgment. I totally feel like you seem to be invited to something and are hesitant about going. And you can take that as literally or as figuratively as you like, as that feels to you. Invited to something as in like invited to take part in a project and you're not quite sure if you want to work with those people. Invited to a gathering on a, I'm not seeing a trip. So 2 ways that this could be interpreted, they're telling me. So first of all, you're invited to be a part of something and you don't quite know if you want to make that step. And second, you are already in a working situation and you don't feel fulfilled by it. Like you don't feel that you work your best with the people who are involved. And you may put that on yourself as I have to be better at communicating. I'm going to say communicating because that card came there. Better at communicating. I need to be a better team player. But Spirit, the divine, the guides who are here, they want you to know that sometimes there's just, you may have learned some skills in that dynamic, in that situation, but ultimately that's not where you're meant to stay. So I see a changing of the company you keep, but I really am feeling it more strongly in the realm of work and creation. And I'm going to say creation because maybe it's artistic creation, or maybe it's like just community creation, the people that you associate with, where the goal of that association is achieving something. I'm putting it in very broad strokes. Could be a church group. It could be, a community group. So be on the lookout for, a group that no longer serves your highest good, like you've outgrown them, or a group that you're being invited to be a part of. I'm going to go to the next one. So the Knight of Swords in reverse. I feel here that the impulses that are going to come to you, you may doubt them. Because they see, basically they're telling me like your magic is going to be so fully revealed that you yourself won't believe it. I will have a hard time believing it. I won't say you won't, but you'll have a hard time really integrating that into your being, because it may feel to you as if you're being arrogant or, wishful thinking, and you're too big of a dreamer. And that may also be a product of this group that you need to disband from, or the fact that you need to be in a different group of people. We'll see that in the next round of cards. But definitely, I feel that you're not going to necessarily believe it. And then it's like, if you do really embrace it and believe it, you may get antsy about when. Like, when is this going to happen for me? I've been, now that you reconnect with that energy, you're like, okay, well, when? You want everything to change overnight. So there's an air of also impatience in the Knight of Swords in reverse. because you want to go galloping along. But upside, the part of you that is galloping along, oh, okay, well, they want me to take back upside. It may not be an upside. It's something to watch out for. So emotionally, you are very ready to move forward. But intellectually, like the organizational, practical planning of it all is not yet there. Page of Swords in reverse. So those two together. You have the Knight of Swords in reverse, and then you have the Page of Swords in reverse. So something that you are working on, that and something that you feel very deeply in your heart that you're ready to move forward for, the environment is not quite ripe for it yet in the next 3 months. The next 3 months is going to be a time where you need to wheel back some and do some practical planning of how to move forward. So a good place to put all of this Knight of Cups, charging in with your heart on your sleeve energy is into your strategizing of how you're going to move forward now that you are, a bigger being. Let's go to bridging the 3D and the 5D. So how can Aries North Node bridge the 3D and the 5D? We have the Queen of Cups. What number is this? 2 of Pentacles and the 5 of Pentacles again, but in the upright this time. Okay. I got a lot to say today. The Magician and the High Priestess. Whoa. Okay, so what a way to start the day. My goodness. And the 9 of Swords. Okay. And then at the bottom of the deck, you have the Ace of Swords. Shadow. So first and foremost, whatever you are healing from, disappointments, traumas, be very honest with yourself about them. Communicate them. Talk to somebody if you need to. There's no shame in therapy, talk therapy, for example. And, there's also just 1-800 numbers where you don't even have to give your real name and you can just talk to somebody if you need to talk to somebody. If you have a friend who you can confide in and really deeply talk to, and if not, you can also just sit in nature and talk to a tree or a fairy or the sky, right? But there needs to be an embracing of what state your heart is in. And your heart is they want you to know your heart is actually, infinitely capable of healing, unconditional love, self-love. But when we don't let the painful emotions, painful experiences pass through with acknowledgement, like when we avoid the uncomfortable feelings, then they manifest into something bigger because they want you to notice that you need to let it go. So embracing and having a strategy for releasing, like letting your emotions flow, will be very helpful for you in the next 3 months. The 5 of Pentacles and the 2 of Pentacles. I'm getting that sorry. Okay. With the Five of Pentacles, I'm getting that there's a need to be very strategic. I'm going to do these two cards together. There's a need to be very strategic about how you're going to move forward. Some of that moving is going to have to do with transforming your financial outlook, transforming your finances. Because I see here that, like with these, you could interpret it however you like, but there seems to be, for me, the five are what's necessary, and the rest is just in your way. And the Two of Pentacles for me is feeling like the heart and mind need to work together in planning your next steps forward. Because both your heart and your mind have part of your key to abundance, part of your key to soul fulfillment and destiny fulfillment. True for all of us, especially true for you in the next 3 months, or something that you need to be aware of and acknowledge for your progress. Because further to the Two of Pentacles, you also have you have the Magician and the High Priestess coming out together. And I shuffled this deck well. So well shuffled deck. So and you have the Magick card. And it's just, wow. You are meant to do something that is very, inspired, action, intuitive, and everything. If you are listening and acting on what you hear, or if you are feeling and acting on what you feel intuitively, then there is nothing that can be in the way of your progress. Now, this impatience that you may have is because there's only so much that you can do to change all of the circumstances around you. They want you to be aware of what is within your locus of control and what is outside of it. And don't concern yourself with what is outside of it. Concern yourself only with doing. So if you can't transform, let's say you want to be in a different career, or you want to leave your 9-to-5 job and be an entrepreneur, for example, there are ways to shift your energy to highlight that, or to make that like what your world is built around, before you are actually able to leave that job situation, right? So they're giving me the example of, once you decide, like, my priority in life is being in, like, starting my own advertising agency, then your approach to going to your job will be, this money is for investing in. Maybe your job has something also, like in terms of knowledge, contacts, networking. If you're already kind of in that industry, but you want to break away, that you can use to your advantage in your future plans. So they want you to understand that where you are standing right now is exactly where you need to be to get where you want to go. And when you start looking at it from that perspective, then you will be able to see the tools that are available to you, and you'll be able to ignore the things that don't really concern you, and that you don't need to, you don't need to be a crusader to change the whole world, right? I don't feel that in the Aries North Node energy that type of destiny necessarily exists. You do change. They're saying that the change that you have the potential to create will always start with you. And you mastering and honing the craft of which you are gifted with. That's reflected in the Nine of Swords as well. He's just taken all his ideas. It's like, you know what? I don't know what's going on over there, but I have all of these tools and I'm going to make a move. Now, the Nine of Swords also points to, like, this can cause great inner conflict or conflicts in your environment. They're showing me, like, see, like, here's wind and the open seas, and who knows what's out there. So it's leaving the comfort of this flowery place. It's leaving the comfort of a place where you are kind of holding yourself back in order to fit the mold. And this coming by the Three of Cups and Judgment, where we're talking about groups and whether. So I see that some of you know that it's time to leave a certain situation or job or group that you work within, but you fear the repercussions, or I'm not going to say repercussions, people's reactions, because the reality is, if you're not meant to be there, you're not going to be punished, at least not by the universe, for leaving, right? They make it difficult for you to stay when they know that it's time for you to leave. And this card is saying that the moving on, the transformation is necessary, and you being sure and secure in your direction and in your decision is what will keep the waters calm, right? That doesn't mean that there's not going to be someone who flips out or talks behind your back and says, whatever they say. But they want you to remember that you are empowered as to how you react to that. Because is it important what that person is saying? Do you need to call up all your friends and say, oh, he said this about me, she said this about me, they're saying that they don't see, what I'm working towards? No, they don't. That's why you have to leave. Right. I remember this group or gathering of people, this network of people can be in any realm of life, whether it's personal or professional. All right. We're doing good here. We're doing good. So we're going to see with this oracle deck here, Mystical Shaman, what wants to be, I'm going to pull 4 cards, what wants to be transmuted through the portal of your heart, or what parts of your shadow want to be, you know what, I'm just going to stop talking. I'm going to stop talking, but it has to do with the portal of the heart, and we're going to see what comes out. I may encourage you to fast forward Aries North Node if you need to. Well, I time-stamped it. I'm going to time-stamp it to when it's actually, when the cards actually come out, because it's quite sticky this morning. Oh, there's, yay. Okay. Oh, all 4. So Magick. I'm just going to ask if it fell the other way. It fell like this. So they want it like this. Okay, so the first is Thunder. The Spiral. The Hummingbird. And Magick is last. So let's start with Thunder. With Thunder, I'm getting, there is an impending storm. They're showing me all the buffalo here, and and they're moving through the water, it looks like, or the cosmos. There's a lot of spiritual wisdom that is coming through your heart that you may not be acknowledging, or that you're not acknowledging. Like, let's just be real, that you're not acknowledging, or at least not utilizing to the full extent that you should be utilizing it. Sorry, I just realized I called them buffalo, but they're bison. I don't know if there's a difference between bison and buffalo, but spiritually, like in my heart, I feel there is. So I'm going to correct myself and say bison on that card. The other element of the Thunder card is that there is no use in trying to stop what is coming, because it's a major transformation and it's an upheaval. When faced with upheaval, let things be upheaved. That is so not a word. When there is upheaval in the next 3 months, see the portal of your heart that just wants it to come through. Because part of it is like, it's a healing storm. And it's going to heal more than you. It's honestly seems to be about more than you. We have to remember that as much as we are the heroes in our story, we are also characters in everyone else's stories, to some extent. Even if you're the most minor background actor in the movie, right? So, but all of the wisdom and spiritual awakening that it wants to come to you, or is coming to you, let it be, let it flow. What's the word? Observe it. Observe it. And I kind of want to put all 4 of these cards together, because I feel that this is just very telling of the transformation that wants to happen. I feel like a storm is coming to clear out a whole bunch of ish in your heart space, in your aura. And this is all a predestined moment in your evolution. Like, it's time for you to wake up to the reality of who you are and to your own. You got the magic, you got gifted, you got magic, you got magic, you got the magician, you got the high priestess. Like, it doesn't make sense that you don't believe yet completely. And they're happy, encouraging you to believe. They're encouraging you that already believe to take the next step, which is integrating it into reality and weaving it into the fabric that is reality. The hummingbird is like I feel this spiritual messenger that comes after you felt like this. I'm also getting the feeling of I don't know what they call it in the ocean when like the water all spirals and it pulls boats in. And I feel that spiral also may pull you to a different timeline, a different version of reality. Like that's how dramatically your life has the potential to change over the next 3 months. But that spiral obviously is a scary place to be because you don't know up from down and you may not be able to really catch your breath. And that is exactly when you need to keep tuning into your heart and your intuition and higher guidance so that you can remain steady on your boat, knowing which direction you intend to go. So keeping the intention of where you want to go in mind will guide your ability to navigate what seems to be an upheaval of sorts. Back to the hummingbird. So the hummingbird, it's coming with your gifts. It's coming to as a harbinger or positive messenger and a reminder of your inner magic. And of course, magic is magic. I mean, this is the transformation process. This is what needs to go through the this is actually for me quite an intense feeling to describe. Because we're talking about the portal of the heart, and my heart is like achingly expanding at this point in your reading Aries North Node, because that is how much growth there is. Like this transformation into this, they want me to say earth angel. There's magic in whatever it is you do, and don't doubt that the gifts you were given are valuable, magical, and meant to be used in service of your highest good and the highest good of everybody else. Which doesn't mean they're going to be happy with you. Like, I always have to say that. Sometimes you rightfully need to piss someone off because they need to, acknowledge something in their energy field. But I digress from that. So, Magick, you, Aries North Node, totally on the way. And the people pleasing needs to be evaluated. And they didn't want me to say needs to stop, because there are definitely times where it is good for us to be of service to other people, right? There's a difference between being of service to other people and denying yourself in order to, like, say, contracting your energy in order to make room for someone else's energy, right? Two different situations. or dynamics to the same situation. So, yes. And that may also have come up in whatever relationship or memories are coming to the surface in the next 3 months for clearing. Ooh, my head's spinning. There's a lot of magician in this reading. So I'm going to pull some final oracles to pull the message together. And I do think I'm going to pull from 2 different decks. Oh, okay. Yay. We have Wild Winds. And then I'm going to use a different deck here. And Leap. Okay. So I'm going to read from the guidebook for the final oracles. I just don't want to, I feel they come out for a reason in that way. So let's just do that. Okay. Wild winds. Do you ever hear the whispers? Oh, do you hear the whispers in the wind? Have you ever been alone in nature when suddenly you hear a word or a sound, but no one is there? Earth Mama speaks to us in many ways, but it takes time and practice to hear her with clarity. At first, you may wonder if it's just your mind playing tricks on you. Do not allow doubt to block the wisdom of the earth. The Wild Winds card commonly appears when a spirit or the universe has sent you messages in the form of synchronicities or patterns like recurring numbers, symbols, colors, and shapes that you missed. This card is a nudge to open your senses to the messages that you have been closed off to. Yeah. Sometimes a message can be so clear that it becomes overwhelming. Other times, messages are so subtle that you must be completely calm and still to see them. Either way, you are being called to make sense of the little clues being left for you. To do so, you must listen to your heart and trust that you know what is being presented to you. Don't overthink the synchronicities that come into your life. Do not try to approach them with logic and reason. Feel them in your spirit and know that your first instinct is often the correct one. Yeah, I feel your intuition. So, yeah, sorry, there's so many things here. The universe has been trying to speak to you. It has been speaking to you. Your higher self has been speaking to you. Have you been listening is the question. And if you have been listening, have you been overanalyzing it? Because there is a lot coming through the Thunder card. There's a lot coming through. And your ability to allow in the next 3 months will define how smooth this transition goes for you. I feel that regardless of, fighting always does us a disservice of slowing down our progress. However, I feel you're going to be taken down that road of massive transformation in the next 3 months, regardless. So you can go kicking and screaming, or you can go like on the wind, right? And in the waters, and just let it happen. Because leap, you go first, the universe will catch you, is, I'm going to read from the card, but I could tell you off the bat, it just feels like you need to trust that this is going to end up somewhere. And that, like, even bigger, somewhere that even bigger than what you imagine. So let me read from the book here. Okay. Life bends for the courageous. The universe wants to support you, but first you need to leap, to throw your life up in the air. Perhaps you know what you are being called to leap toward or away from, but are scared to make the move. Or perhaps you are waiting for a big fat sign or instruction manual or permission to do so first. If this is you, then this card is your sign and permission slip to take a deep breath and leap into the unknown. It's scary to let go of all that we know in hope for something new, and it's normal to feel anxious at the thought of letting go of what we know for sure. But this is the unavoidable process of rising, and right now this is how you are being called to live. Nature is constantly showing us how to live with courage. Fall comes every year and encourages the trees to loosen their grip, to allow what once was so full of life to fall away leaf by leaf. For a moment, it feels like nothing will grow again. The branches are left bare without the comfort of what once was. But in the morn of spring, new shoots begin to appear, and something new is born that is even more glorious than before. All right. Aries North Node. I think those cards summed up everything very nicely. I hope that this was useful to you. Feel free to come back anytime and use the timestamps to review whichever sections you want to, because 3 months is a long time. In the meantime, I will be doing ascension messages to ring in the new year, new calendar year. So I hope that you'll tune into those. And until then, take care, be well, and stay blessed. Bye for now.